we're numbing them, and they're buried deeply uh, underneath this question of like, why don't I feel human anymore? So it's important to just start occupying yourself, and then making yourself, busy. A healthy productivity.
Marcus, you're so right. Those 3 points there, really interesting. I think when you mention about painting, or could even be designing, drawing, or something like this, which is really going to just switch you.
Transform You Live show. I'm Marcus Hart. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Marcus, I'm pretty good today, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. Is definitely a quite just man. I'm excited to be back. Another Wednesday back with you. For some, this is probably their first time being able to hear us. If they're watching, this is their first time being able to see us. So it's a pretty exciting day right now. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm feeling that good vibes from you, so it's rubbing off, which is a good thing.
Yeah, particularly although there's so much going on in the world, and it seems like the plot continues to thicken. The more closer we get to the the dun 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 January 20th date. Everybody's anticipating and waiting on that, and then of course everybody's waiting for vaccines.
Mhm.
But and so this anticipation for things to come, all of this stress, it can really make you feel like you're not you, like you're not even human anymore, which is what our topic today is all about. What to do when you don't feel human anymore. What do you think about that one, Paul?
Yeah, Marcus. As you said, when we're in this kind of strange times when there's lots of waiting around, we know things will get better, and it's just a strange kind of time where you might be going through the motions, doing your normal 9 till 5, going to work, coming back to your apartment, etc. But yeah, I can really see, especially during January, February time when it's a little bit darker, that you're not feeling like your true self, and it's just something's not quite right.
You hit it right on the head. It is a very transitional period. You said going into January, you're not feeling like yourself. We are anticipating things. We don't know what the year's going to be like. There was a great quote from the greatest mind of them all, and that is that of Albert Einstein. And those who are listening, I want to invite you in even closer. Come on closer. Human beings in their thinking, feeling, and acting are not free agents, but are casually bound, as he said, as the stars in their motion. So if you don't feel real, the great Albert Einstein said, um, we may be not free in our thinking sometimes, because like in a sense we are kind of casually bound to the way the stars are motioning, because we are all in a sense connected as one. And that's probably the trick to kind of go back and realize, if you like let that sit right there, that'll help you realize that, like, okay, maybe it's just not me. Maybe it's okay for me, and it's gonna be point number one, to just go in zombie mode and do simply exist. Being that, like, if the stars in themselves are like are just in motion, and everything's moving around me, and everybody else is just moving, maybe I'm not the only one feeling like this, and maybe I can just switch that zombie button on and just really exist and don't have to explain to others, and maybe not even myself, because it's hard.
Yeah, you're so right there, Marcus. I think it's fine just to go through, have those days when you are in that zombie mode, and you wake up, go through the motions, go to work, come home, all these types of things. And I think it's really makes you makes you happy in a strange way, that you know that everyone else is that got that interconnectedness, and we are all going through the same things. People are feeling the same way, and yeah, if you can just get into that zombie mode, as you nicely put it, then things will you will get through it. You will get through it, and that zombie mode, helps us coast through the hard times, I suppose.
Yeah, I think zombie mode is a real nice way of saying autopilot, because like when you say autopilot, you think that it's going to be you're going to be coasting through things quite easily. So if you say zombie mode, you know you're going to be still be fighting through the day. So you everybody's still after zombies, and nobody is too kind to zombies, and zombies are not too kind to themselves sometimes. So that's why it's a good play on the words. And but the thing about it is, if you're walking around as a zombie, you can essentially and be mindful. Still using some mindfulness. We want to use some mindfulness in this. Is that you are still inedible. Inedible. You can still just make it through the day, because like once the darkness fall, that shall pass. That too soon shall pass. And then when the light comes back up, you should be your new self again. You don't have to stay in this mode all day. And the second part about that, not having to explain it to others, I think it's just not the need to explain to others, but also not having to look for explanation for yourself. We really want to understand. We really want to look for the answers, and we talked about this on previous episodes too before. That need to really understand the big why. Why don't I feel human? Why don't I? Why is life this way? Well, we don't have the answers all the time, and the answers are not going to fall like right here in our lap. And sometimes it's okay to just let it go, even when the person that is looking at you, um especially if it's a loved one, um is trying to figure you out, because it can be very complicated when a loved one is looking at you, and wanting that same person to come out of you, and then you just don't know how to answer it, and you don't even understand it yourself. But it's okay to just let it go, and just turn that zombie switch on.
Marcus, you're bang on there. That was yeah. The way you put that was perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's easy for us, if someone, one of our loved ones, friends, it could be a fiance or someone like that, says to you, what's wrong? Are you okay? And if you have to lie and say, oh, everything's all right, or make up an
Mhm.
excuse of why you're not feeling this way, I think, as you put it, if you can just, you know, just say to yourself, I don't know why, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. It's okay to feel this way, and we don't have these answers all the time, and it's so important for us to understand that we don't have to always give a reason, give an answer, and fake something if there's nothing there to say. It's fine just to just to be yourself, and if you can't explain it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and us guys are very stupid, to we will stupidly, just sometimes we would take that answer, if you're a woman in this position,
Yeah.
and you really feeling confused about your emotions, and then just and then your spouse come to you and you say like, what's wrong, honey, like, we'll try to figure out everything, to try to make it better. But if you but it's okay to just tell people like, hey, honey, I really don't know, what's wrong.
Hmm.
And just let's just go through the day. Let's just get through the day.
Hmm.
So I think that'd be the best way to handle it. Us cavemen.
You're totally right with that one.
Yeah,
It's all right to tell us that, you know,
yeah,
don't worry about it. It's going to be all right. Let's just get through the day.
yeah. So another way to handle this is, and it's a real cool trick that like I have done, personally, and I know Paul, is a big fan of movies too, but just switching over to like watching fantasy. A lot of fantasy movies can really help you escape reality if you really want to get out of reality. For a while, I mean, because like you're already feeling like you're out of reality anyways, might as well just
Exactly. Got it.
really, go out, just get out of here for a while. Take a hour or two to binge, on a couple of good fantasy movies,
Hmm.
and to get in, and once you realize how crazy it is on the movie screen, you say, oh, okay, well, actually, I am here on Earth. so, so that's a cool thing. What do you think, Paul?
That's a
You got
great.
you got any favorite ones out there?
All of the sci-fi ones, fantasy. I do love my sci-fi. I love
Yeah,
watching Stranger Things. I finished on Netflix. I'm not sure if you've seen
yeah.
that. That's amazing. That really gets you out into a different kind of headspace. So yeah, you're right. Just sit yourself down, get in front of the TV, veg out, and just lose yourself in a good kind of you know fantasy TV show or movie or something like this. So with you on this one.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is when you actually can like sit down and and just allow your mind to just go, and not think about nothing. You're not concentrating on anything else. You just unbother, you relaxing. You got your popcorn.
Yeah.
You in your favorite pajamas. Probably got some fuzzy socks. Uh, you probably get some ideas sparked to you too. So this is really cool too, because like it might have been something you were kind of stuck on, and like you might get some inspiration, like might walk away with some inspiration from watching a good fantasy movie. So you never know.
Yeah, you're totally right there. Sometimes you get the craziest ideas, or your mind can just settle things when you're not actually thinking about it consciously. And yeah, just get yourself out of the moment, and you never know what's going to happen. As you said, sometimes you get that spark will come out of nowhere. Then once that movie's over and done with, then you can really maybe sit down and think about what you can do next, what your next steps are. But yeah, definitely give yourself that time and space just to veg out and just relax and yeah, live in the moment.
Living in the moment. So speaking of living in the moment, eh, there's this thing, and then it's the next point too. It's like what's going to break in that moment? Is it going to be you or the situation? So when we are faced with these times, when we feel like, I don't even feel real, nothing feels real, like, and I'm totally disassociated, you got to make a choice. Is it going to be me or the situation that's going to break in this moment? And you want the situation. I will choose the latter. You don't want yourself to totally break down. Even though, like, some people, can allow, will can be quite resilient if they allow themselves to, like, totally just break down, and uh and then they can recover quite fast the next day. But I, I for one, I think I would choose the latter. I think I would, wait it out. I would choose the situation rather than myself just totally, breaking down. Um, Especially if it's just like a question that I'm just ruminating on in my head over and over and over again. Like, hey, why don't I feel human right now? Why do I, so instead, it's like, okay, well, the situation. I'd rather just let the situation, like just break, and just give it a break.
I think out of all of the points, Marcus, so far, this is the big one.
Yeah.
If you can get to that moment where you have to make that decision, whether it's yourself or whether the situation is going to break, then you can really make sure that it's not you. You're not the one who's going to break here. You can learn a lot of things about yourself and use that for the future as well. It's I've been in that situation so many times where it could have easily gone the other way. But once you learn
Mhm.
how to identify when that moment is, and become stronger in yourself, knowing that okay, I've gone through this before, I can really get through this next one. I think it's such a powerful thing to know that you can make that decision yourself and not let it break you.
That's good advice. I like that you added that in there. Um, that added bit of validation in there, to this piece of this conversation here, and I really feel also, that you know when these things arise, yeah, this is a real good question. Like you said, this is a big one. So this is a real good question to ask yourself. Like, do I want it to be me or the situation? So this is a better ultimatum, to give yourself. To really help you move forward too, ultimately.
Mhm.
So, speaking of moving forward, before we move forward, just want to acknowledge, our sponsor for today. Our sponsor is Niznusen. Niznusen, which it's very hard for me to say the word. It's spelled Niznusan. Niznusen.com is a company that is doing some great things. They're out, um, in the world right now. If you feel like big government is spying on you, or anyone else, any hackers out there that could be potentially doing a breach on your data, on like on your conversations, while you're zooming away. We're all on Zoom calls nowadays, or however you're teleconferencing. You want to be sure that you are covered, that you have a low cost, innovative physical security and surveillance solution for your computers and data, services. I, for one, I, I talk about all the time how to get out the matrix, how to break this matrix. And I'm, as a veteran, I'm proud to be able to have ran across this company that's veteran owned. So what better company that's veteran owned that knows all about security, right? They've been securing our nation, so now they're securing your computers and data service. So nisnewson.com. So if you want to get in touch with them, you find out more about their products and services, check them out so that you can get some protection on your computer and your phones, and if you need physical security, they got you covered. Check them out at info@niznusan.com. That's NIZNUSAN.com, or niznusan.com. If you want to just shop around the site, and let them know we sent you. It's always good to let them know how you figured out about us, well, about them. So cool. Thank you guys. So, speaking of just how you can have solutions, solutions for moving forward. We was talking about moving forward before. We talked about the great things these nuisance are doing. Uh, when we think about moving forward, you need to be occupying yourself. So there's two. This is the first thing that came to mind, is zoning out on music. What better way than to zone out on music? Music really helps you get back in touch with those emotions, them human emotions that maybe you like you're numbing right now. Um, you might be numbing it right now at the time, and and that could really have you disassociated, and really feeling detached from your body. So music can really, get that vibration going. Um, I for one, when I feel rattled out, I go real quickly to either some heavy metal, or I go to some techno, some real fast techno or drum and bass music. That's real good, some real good energy music. Or I go to some soul music, some old school soul music. Nothing like some good, old James Brown or something like that. That's soul. So if your soul's feeling out, that
And it was
some,
so,
yeah, go for soul. What do you think, Paul? You got
Marcus, I love this one. This is great. When I'm feeling down or just out of it, or kind of just detached from what's going on, off goes the TV, phone goes away, and I just play some music. And as you said, that kind of, it doesn't matter what type of music it is, as long as you're feeling that kind of energy come through your body. Give it a couple minutes, you'll be feeling like a different person and not thinking about the things that have got you into this place. So definitely, yeah, just detach yourself from the outside world and just turn some music on and really enjoy it. That's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, I love it. And then there's painting. Painting is very good. There's nothing like a good even if you feel like you're not the best artist, you can head over to Dollar Tree, and get a paint set, and they got canvases now at Dollar Tree. So yeah, they got the small canvas. I was surprised. I was like, wow, they even at the dollar store they have the small canvases you can purchase, and get you a little paint set, and really get you some therapy there. Sometimes we just need to just change the routine up a bit, and really get in touch with our inner selves, and really expand on our creative selves, and just go away, and get some grounding. And again, this is, we talked about occupying ourselves, shifting the emotions away, because a lot of times the emotions have shifted shifted somewhere else, and really they need to be brought back to the surface. And so, like, we think sometimes that, like, uh, our emotions have, like, completely just gone out of us, but really we're numbing them, and they're buried deeply uh, underneath this question of, like, why don't I feel human anymore? So it's important to just start occupying yourself, and then making yourself, busy, a healthy productivity.
Mm. Marcus, you're so right. Those 3 points there, really, really interesting. I think when you mention about the painting, or could even be designing or drawing or something like this, which is really going to just switch you away from something which you may not do before, and that kind of new things that you're doing with your hands and in your brain can really reignite those emotions that maybe have been suppressed, and you can really drag them out again. And something simple such as you said, picking up a paintbrush, using a pencil, designing, drawing something, that can really, really help. And I know that's helped me in the past. Just
Yeah.
doodling for a few minutes, and suddenly you've got a fresh take on what's going on. So definitely, I think it's just keeping yourself busy, doing something which is positive. We're not talking about doing something which is going to have a negative effect on your body, or on your kind of personal thoughts, but something, keeping yourself busy is really important.
Absolutely. So, you know outside of that, um I'm just curious, Paul, what your response is to this. What when we're busy, and I have heard people say, "Oh, it- it- how can you be busy?" Everybody's busy. Yeah, so, like, and I mentioned, and I emphasize healthy, productivity, So to keep yourself busy. Um, but we oftentimes hear people say that, like, uh, busy is just an excuse to get away from everyone else. So I'm just curious to wonder, what do you feel about that? Do you feel like, getting away from people uh, is like sometimes like kind of necessary, and like the busy excuse line is not really as cliche as what people think it is.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think everyone needs their own space, and I
Mhm.
think it's so important that if you give yourself that space, and if you have to say you're busy, and it's that, as you said, that old cliche, oh yeah, you always say you're busy, but if you're giving yourself time for your own thoughts, doing something productive in for you rather than someone else, I think we all need it. And on the flip side of that, if someone says that to you, if it's your fiance, your spouse, or your group of friends, just be fine with that. If they're saying they're busy, they must be saying that for a reason, and they want to have a little bit of alone time, which is going to be
Yeah.
productive for them, and ultimately for your relationship.
I like that. Yeah. And that, that social aspect of it that you brought in is so important, because, like, we I know it, we want to maintain these relationships, and we don't want, people to, start looking at us bad, or, start thinking that, we're trying to avoid avoid them, or disconnect the relationships, or, we don't want to appear um, like the bad person, like a bad person. We want to always maintain a good, a good standing with people, because, like, you never know who you're gonna need in the future, and then not only that, just, you always want to come across as like the person that people can come to as well. So, excellent there, brilliant. So, just to switch gears a bit too, and as we move forward in almost the last couple of minutes that we got left here, we got about 2 minutes here left. Um, I think when we feel very terrible, and we, feel like, okay, well, I have tried all some of these things above, but I still feel bad. Well, the most quickest emergency thing that you can do is, like, think about who got it worse. I know this sounds bad, but actually it's not, because it really takes the attention off of you. It really will help you to, just realize that, like, this world is full of people that actually got it worse than you, and they need you. They actually need people like you, who are compassionate, and who care about, uh, not living in suffering. So, for example, there's amputees, there's cancer patients, there's elderly people with no resources, there's homeless. There's a lot of people that you can look at and say, you know what, that situation is a lot worse than mine, and and because this type of stuff exists, I'm still in this world, and I'm actually am human, and there's something, as a human being, I can start contributing in some way, shape, or fashion to kind of reverse some of this stuff.
Totally, Marcus. You're so right on that one. We're not saying that you're looking at people who are worse off than you, and saying how lucky you are.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
That'll be bad. Yeah, that'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
really bad.
No, you're definitely showing that sympathy, empathy towards people who need it. And yeah, if you start thinking that way, then you can start really changing the way you're feeling. And things may not be as bad as you think, because the way
Mhm.
other people are suffering. And if you look at them, and even if you're looking at these people and thinking, wow, if you can get through what you're getting through, then I can easily get through what I'm feeling at the moment. So I think it's just that kind of turning it around and being a little bit more optimistic uh,
Yeah,
in life.
absolutely. Now, just to wrap this thing up and tie it with a bow, and that's the best way to put it. Uh, the absolute final bottom line thing to know and to close with on this particular topic today is when it's all said and done, know that there's hope. So it's important to be optimistic. Start practicing some optimism. I know it's so hard. It becomes so hard for myself sometimes. I find myself, where I will slip out of like my optimism mindset and then become quite the opposite. But be an optimist and start transforming the feeling. Transform the feeling, transform that feeling into energy and feel to do something quite differently for yourself. Rather that it's just that feel becomes just awareness of that, like, hey, I realized that there's something wrong, and I'm just going to check in with myself for the day, and I'm going to be gentle to myself today. And I know that I will get through this, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And while there's light, I'm going to run towards that light, whether it's doing something constructive or just continue on doing what I'm doing that I have to do. Whether that's being a parent, because there's a lot of single mothers out there, and there's a lot of you that have kids that's looking up to you, and they need you. They need you so much, and my hearts are out to you. I can't stress it enough. And the clients need you. The clients that you haven't got yet, they need you. And there's jobs that's gonna be hiring soon, that they're gonna need the best possible you. So keep that hope alive.
That's that sounds perfect, Marcus. I couldn't put that better. It's that optimism. It's knowing things will get better. It's putting things into place now that's going to help you in the future, and just keeping that optimism. Going towards that light rather than, as you said, getting that kind of pessimistic way that's happening to everyone at the moment. Just get rid of that. Look for the optimism in life, and transform the way you're feeling. Take it day by day, and just be optimistic, because things are going to get better for everyone.
Yes, and that, my friend, is real good spirituality. Um, because we don't need no extra stuff. We don't, So thank you so much, Paul, for your conversation as always, friend. And thank you, my friends out there, for tuning in. Um, hey, if you haven't already, take the time out to visit the podcast, rate and subscribe and review, and leave those comments where they are appropriate at. Any last word from you, Paul?
No, I think those points we've spoken about today have been excellent, and to everyone out there, just keep that optimism going, and transform, taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, where can they follow you, Paul?
You can follow me on my Twitter at runnerpaul81. So please
Yeah,
follow me on there, and Marcus, as you said, leave us comments. It's always great to read the comments out there, and the feedback is excellent. So thanks very much to everyone who's listening to us.
excellent. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the other side. All right. Thanks once again for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching by video. TransformYouPodcast.com is where you can find many of our past episodes and many other Transform You Media Network partner shows and brands. Transform You Live Show is where you can find us on Instagram, and Transform the Letter U Live is the network's Twitter page. Until next time.